Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Canadian Football Central, CFL content for the fans, by the fans. And it's funny, we usually don't cover signings in like an individual video. However, a couple things. One, this is in the middle of the season, so it's not like we're getting bombarded and we'd have to do 10,000 videos. And two, this is a pretty big one, as I think this isn't exactly a surprising signing, but I think we both kind of expected the Riders to go with Bertrand Huden a little bit and give him a little bit of time before they did this. But for those who are not aware, for those who did not watch this, so the Saskatchewan Roughriders have signed Ka'Deem Carey, just pending a physical. He just needs to pass that and then he's on. But basically, he's going to be on the team. They've signed Ka'Deem Carey to a deal, as AJ Ouellette, the starting running back for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, went down last game. Bertrand Huden took over for him after AJ Ouellette's injury, and actually did decent, but I guess Saskatchewan has a bit of concerns at the running back position. Well, they have concerns at a lot of positions when it comes to injuries, at least, but it looks like they thought Ka'Deem Carey was the right fit for them, and they went and snatched him up off the market. Rick, what do you think of this move by Saskatchewan?
So, a couple of things come to mind. First off, AJ Ouellette, if Ka'Deem Carey is getting signed by Saskatchewan, it's no 5-figure, it's going to be 6-figure. I can't see him signing for less than 100,000.
Oh, yeah, so, especially if you're Ka'Deem Carey, the ball's in your court in the sense that the Riders need you,
so,
you know?
Makes me think, so from the reports that I've seen from different people out there, is that AJ Ouellette, because I remember us talking about this, that it was an upper body injury. Now I'm hearing it's a concussion, so you don't know how long he's going to be out. With this Ka'Deem Carey, you know that the injury is going to be long term. So I'm seeing at least 6 games. Yeah.
No, and this has been a problem for AJ Ouellette in Saskatchewan. He has not been able to stay healthy.
One of two things are going to happen, because I can't see them keeping all 3. Either AJ Ouellette's going to go on the 6th game for the rest of the season, then that way the team doesn't have to pay his salary, the league does, or it would not surprise me by the time he's healed that they would just flat out release him.
I'm not sure. I think for starters,
they'll put
him on the 6th game. But if you think of even like a situation like Edmonton last year, they had multiple killer running backs, and they just like, for example, because they had Leak with his crazy game, but then Justin Rankin got a ton of time, and then there was a third running back, I can't remember his name, but they didn't release him. They just kind of kept him on there, even though he was a bit of salary. But the interesting thing here, and I'll let you get back here in just 1 second, is that this could put AJ Ouellette's starting position in question, in the sense of if Ka'Deem Carey goes in there and gets great numbers, because Ouellette's numbers in Saskatchewan have just kind of been okay, just not exactly the hype when they first brought him in. They did all this marketing, they gave him the big Thor's hammer, all this and that, and now we're about to find out if he's worthy, you know what I mean? And so that's where I'm interested with this.
But my whole thing is, I'm not paying a backup 6 figures to be a backup.
This is true.
That's why I'm saying he's either going to be placed on the 6th game and just going to ride it out till he's healthy.
Yeah.
And then he gets released, or he's going to be gone for the rest of the season. I cannot see them keeping both Ka'Deem Carey and AJ Ouellette and paying both 6 figures.
I could see them for 1 season doing that,
especially with Hudon on the team, and after what he just did.
Here's my thing: I could see them doing it for this season. Long term, no. And here's why: BC with Vernon Adams Jr. and Nathan Rourke, I would argue a way worse contract situation in terms of where Nathan Rourke was making an absurd amount of money. Vernon Adams Jr. was already making quite a bit. And they kept both of them, but at the end of the season, that's when they made their decision, where they're like, moving forward, this is unsustainable. With Saskatchewan making a big push this year, I wouldn't be surprised if they kept them. But again, come the 2026 season, no way would they have both of them starting.
At the same time, Hudon just proved his worth last week.
Yeah, which is why again the only thing I'm a little bit surprised here is that they went for it this early. I don't know if maybe Saskatchewan felt that that Ka'Deem Carey's time on the market, like his days were numbered in terms of his time on the market, and that if they didn't grab him now, they'd have to go to Fletcher or Kevin Brown when Ka'Deem Carey is kind of the biggest ticket piece of those three. And so with Saskatchewan arguably being in a bigger need for running backs than, well, I mean, anyone in terms of that, it seemed like that was the move they made. We're going to take a little bit of a look into some of his stats. So we're going to start with Ka'Deem Carey's stats. We're going to talk a little bit about, actually, we're going to start with his preseason stats. Then we'll talk about his stats from last year, and then we'll compare that with AJ Ouellette. So if we look at his preseason stats, he only played in one game in the preseason. It was the second game where the Toronto Argonauts defeated the Hamilton Ticats by a score of 30-23. Rushing, Ka'Deem Carey had three carries for 14 yards with an average of 4.7 with a longest of 10. Not exactly terrible numbers, but just not as good as Jairon Mitchell, Jared Doge, and Mayan Williams. Again, Jared Doge, quarterback. And so, but Ka'Deem Carey not given a ton of opportunities there. A little bit. It was a surprising cut for sure, based on the fact that this was your guy who came in, badmouthed the crap out of Calgary when he left, and all the problems that he felt that there were with the organization, and made it known that he wanted to be in Toronto. He liked it there. Toronto, after winning the Grey Cup, kind of throws him off to the side. Not gonna lie, just was a very surprising move. And now you got a big fish on the market, and Saskatchewan has already scooped him up. And so if we're looking at his career stats, his career started in 2019. He played 4 seasons for the Calgary Stampeders. Then in Toronto, he has 1 year, plays all 18 games, gets 191 carries for 1,060 rushing yards, 7 touchdowns, an average of 5.5 yards per carry, with the longest carry of 32 yards. If we're looking at AJ Ouellette last year played 8 games. The rest he was dealing with injuries. Got 130 carries, so about 60 less carries, for 558 yards, 3 touchdowns with an average of 4.3, a career low since he joined the league in 2019. He joined the same season as Ka'Deem Carey. And his longest was 27 yards. So his longest carry was 5 yards shorter, and his average was a whole 1.2 yards on average shorter, and he was more injury prone. I'm not going to lie. If I'm Saskatchewan, Ka'Deem Carey is the more appealing pick. And at the end of the day as well, Ka'Deem Carey was able to win them the Grey Cup. He was there on that team for that success. Saskatchewan has shown more success with this offensive line for a running back that is a little bit smaller and not like more of a speed back rather than a power back. And so I think this could potentially, I think this is, even though this is kind of a temporary solution to a temporary problem, this might be a more permanent solution to the kind of the injury proneness that AJ Ouellette has. Is I think that was probably one of the things Saskatchewan was hoping for out of the season, was that they were going to get a full season of AJ Ouellette, and we're 1 game in, and we already know that he's going to be out for a good amount of time.
So here's my question is, just looking at their depth chart.
Yep.
So once AJ comes back, I can't see them putting Hudon on the practice squad, because the second they do that, someone's going to pick him up. They're not going to dress 3 running backs. So either they're going to put someone on in that group on the one game, just like the Ticats did last year, where James Butler was a healthy scratch for the second half of the season, or they're gonna end up having to put someone else on the practice squad that's proven themselves this year. I just think, like, for what ends up happening, I just think that in the end, my personal opinion, they're just gonna end up releasing him.
It is expensive. That is true. I mean, the thing is that
unless he has a guaranteed contract,
and that's the thing, we really don't know with the CFL. We have less knowledge than we do, like with the NHL, where there's Puckpedia, there's these websites that can tell you the ins and outs of every contract, no movement clause, no trade clause, all that sort of stuff. We don't know all the ins and outs of the CFL deals, and so if there's one thing that we have learned today with kind of this signing is that at the end of the day, we're just going to have to wait. We're going to have to see how this goes. As again, we expected the Saskatchewan might hold off a little bit on making this signing, but they didn't. They made that signing literally just the game was on Thursday, so just a few days later. And so Saskatchewan is not looking to, whenever they're having injury problems come up, they're looking to solve those immediately. So I think that's pretty much all I got. Is there anything else you got there, Rick, or?
Not really.
That's about it. So thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe if you have not already. And yeah, peace, love, and positivity, all you wonderful people at home. Also, let us know what you thought of the video in the comment section down below. We'll see you guys next time.